Hello, welcome to AR Highlights at AWE Asia 2023. My name is Stacy, and today I am delighted to be with our guests here, actually our keynote speakers, Ikhwan from SK Telecom and Terry Schussler from Deutsche Telekom. Thank you guys for both being here. And before we get into our main questions, could both of you give a quick introduction of yourself and your company?
So my name is Ikhwan, and I'm currently leading the Metaverse SK Telecom's Metaverse the service development. And I was the engineer and also the leading team, the technology team and the service development team.
And I'm Terry Schussler. I work for Deutsche Telekom as the Senior Director of XR and Metaverse. I primarily focus on head-worn device, immersive devices like AR, VR headsets, and enabling technologies to manifest great new customer experiences.
Amazing. So from my understanding, Terry and Ikhwan are both here in Singapore this week to share specifically about Ikhwan. Can you tell me about kind of the growth story of Ikhwan? How did it start? What drove its growth? And where do you see it going in the next few years?
So we have some story about some Ikhwan and SK Telecom as some kind of the telecommunication company. We think the communication is our core business model, and our mission has been always been to be enable the people just to communicate each other, even just they are not same places. Actually the phone and the text message, the internet also the part of this communication. But actually as a next generation, the communication, we think about that, and we believe the AR and VR is the future of our communication. So we started almost 8 years ago. We started developing a core technology about some AR VR, first of all. And then we call right now that kind of the technology in-house developed is we call the TLR platform. Based on the TLR platform, we tried a lot of the service. That means based on the various type of the device and the platform is that we tried a lot of things. For example, before the 2018, we tried some mobile and the VR, the AR application. For example, actually through the trial, we succeed about even just mobile or even just the TV application. We tried some AR application. And finally, maybe the 2018, we unveiled some kind of the first the prototype of the social VR. Social VR is is the VR HMD based application. It is just the people just make some avatar and the virtual space. They watching the movie or the TV show, and also they can talk to each other in the virtual space. That was the beginning of the Ikhwan, and that was the beginning of the Deutsche Telekom and the SK Telecom collaboration. Yeah. So since then, we developed more and developed that kind of the application and the technology. And 2 years ago, we just launched the Ikhwan service. And fortunately and unfortunately, at the time, as you know, the pandemic. During the pandemic, we introduced the Ikhwan-based some kind of the virtual meetup service. But fortunately, at the times, all people just remote work, the kind of thing is very popular. So we got a lot of the intention about that thing is what is the metaverse and what is the virtual meetup. So Ikhwan is a little bit fortunately popular, and also a lot of the people just they take some the meetup in the virtual meetup in our service, and also since then we develop more and more. Finally, in this year we upgrade our service to make some personal place in our Ikhwan service right now. So a lot of the people in the global wide the people just using our service, and they can communicate with some avatar in the virtual space.
Anything to add to that, Terry?
Well, I would just say that our journey to our collaboration with SK Telecom and Ikhwan also started quite some years ago as we built our own Magenta VR platform, where we focus on co-watching even before the pandemic, this idea of having a virtual living room that you remotely can share that experience of being together on the same couch. And we also did a lot of project development where we were looking at combining social media, casual gaming, and entertainment content streams together into sort of a cohesive experience. And so that's kind of what led us to wanting to partner with SK Telecom on Ikhwan, was because we saw a lot of alignment in our thinking. Our company's brand promise to customers is life is for sharing. But as a telco, regardless of our brand, our primary tenet of responsibility is user-to-user communication. And so Ikhwan, I think, embraces a lot of the principles that we believe in that concept.
That makes sense. From all the different services and activities on Ikhwan, are there any ones in particular that you've really been seen as driving engagement? And if so, does that really influence your kind of shifts and focuses going into the future?
So actually, our Ikhwan service focus on the socializing, not just actually the different the 3D game or the metaverse services. A lot of that is focusing on some gamification, but we want the communication based on the 3D the virtual space. So actually, in our space, the service, the IPScale based for the virtual meetup. I mean, the real-time meetup, or some kind of the fan meeting, or some kind of some event. That kind of thing is that it is very the major part of our service. So a lot of the people and a lot of the influencer is a new type of the influencer. That means that they just play their new kind of the influencing the role in our different service with their own the avatar and the virtual space, and they also communicate each other. And also, Ikhwan has some the different type of some kind of fan communication. Actually, the K-pop, K-pop is actually Ikhwan has a lot of the partner in the K-pop idol the group. They can create their own space. They can create their own 3D the experience about them. For example, based on the Ikhwan, they can make some the 3D concert, and also they can communicate with their fan in the real time. That is very the major part. And also, they just they want to communicate not in real time. That means that they can want to create their own space. That is our Ikhwan, and the Ikhwan based they can create their own. So from then, I think that we just recognize that there is some kind of 3D social desire for people. So I think that maybe we just want more, what can I say, make the people, our user, they can create more their own space based on their characteristic. And that's we thinking about that.
Yeah, for us, it's been kind of a mixture of, fan culture, leading into sports, both esports and physical sports. But I think the area that we have been really believing would be the most valuable for our collaboration is use cases or content experiences where there's meaningful exchange between users. So things like cross-training people from domain expertise on different subjects, like how to make a nice cup of tea, how to select the right kind of wine for a meal, how to fix something in your home. Practical knowledge exchange, I think, is a very strong thing because it creates a meaningful dialogue. And there's also, and this is something we'll talk about in our presentation, an emotional connection that's created when somebody shares their knowledge with another person. There's a real bond that's created between those people. And so for us, I think those use cases create an emotional response in users that will create retention because they'll want to come back and have that more, and it's valuable. It's not just there for entertainment's sake, but actually, makes their life better.
A very meaningful experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of sharing knowledge, how about you two? How has the SK and Deutsche partnership kind of grown over the past couple of years, and how has that kind of changed Ikhwan? And also, as a follow-up to that, kind of where do you see this expansion or future partnerships going in the coming years?
So our partnership is the very, what can I say? Actually, we think that different service that we want different service will be the global universal service platform, But actually, for that kind of the globalization is that we need also localization. But different services starting from our company in the very small country from the South Korea. But we need more understanding about some of the different people, different culture, different region. So we did our collaboration with some of the Deutsche Telekom. We also getting a lot of the knowledge, a lot of the wisdom from our partner to understand the different people, different culture. So, for example, actually, we just focus on our country user, but different user, different country people just we find out that the different people, different just like different things, different style, even just the avatar or the virtual space. So based on that kind of the deep understanding, we can develop more the high value for our customer.
Yeah, I mean, I think the complexity of building a metaverse platform is interesting because it's not like most of the software we've done in the past where we just focus on localization and making sure that the language reflects the intent of dialog boxes and menu bar options and things like that. But we have to go a lot deeper, especially when we create an opportunity for users to have digital presence and it's personal to them. So not just the avatar, which we spent quite a lot of time collaborating on, the way that users can define what their avatar looks like, but also, if home content, the design of the product, the design of the user experience, as well as the content inside the user experience. All of those things have to be, culturally relevant. And so it's complicated to, like we have some domain expertise being, in Europe and in the US, but we also don't have domain expertise in other countries where Ikhwan may have already or will realize a big customer growth. And so we also go on a learning journey. For example, I'm on a journey to understand Indian culture a lot more and Chinese culture, because it's not an area I have personal expertise in at the level that I have in others. So I think this is a mutual journey that we're going on that's really great and will manifest in a product that really does have a global POV, which is really one of my personal goals in our collaboration is creating diversity, equity, inclusion thinking in the way that we build the user experience and the way that people can manifest their presence.
That's a really great aspiration, and I think one that's being increasingly recognized by companies not only in kind of this industry but everywhere. Kind of on a similar line, what do you think is the biggest kind of barrier to a smooth customer experience and or barriers to adoption, and kind of how is the Ikhwan team going about to address those challenges?
Good question is we have a lot of challenge. Actually, even just the keyword is also challenging, as you know. But the more the difficult challenge is, we think about first of all is the socialization, the experience, something like that, which means is we have a lot of the social media, social network service, but as I told you, we find out there is this really social desire, because even just not just the old people, just the young generation, MZ generation is also very familiar to this 3D or the gamification, something like that. So, but we just thinking about we have to provide more the flexible and the very convenient way to how to the easy and the fast the communication, even just based on the 3D environment. That is the first one. And second one is to motivate the people or to make more how can I say, the service platform is the creator is very important right now. So even just we cannot provide the whole content for our people, our customer. So we just want just the creator based the economic system is very important. So how to make our creator and the more valuable, and how to make our creator more how can I say, make some the money or have some the motivation is very important for us. So for that kind of thing is we tried to make our creator based some open content platform also. The final one is also the globalization. As I told you, we need more understanding about the more different culture and the people. We want to help them to create their own content based on their own thought, what they desire, that kind of thing is.
Yeah, I think there's three things. So for me, content, as he mentioned, there's a need to have content that's linguistically and culturally relevant to a particular user. And so there's a sort of baseline volume of investment you have to make in having a flow of this content that then encourages them to not only have that meaningful exchange and want to come back, but also to become a content creator themselves, to host an event, to share what they love or what they know a lot about, and to have an audience for that, or believe that they can have an audience for that and build one. So everybody can be an influencer because everybody has knowledge about something or has a passion for something. And I think getting that going on a regional level in a global platform is an interesting challenge. The second one is scale. I think there's, as Ikhwan has one of the most robust avatar systems, has one of the most robust pre-designed 3D environment selections that you can make for having an experience. You start to encounter certain challenges with UI, scale, like how do you get through 7,000 or 11,000 costumes and find the one that you're looking for and things like that. So there's some definitely user experience challenges that come into play there. And then I think the scale leads into leaning into new technologies like AI and finding a path for allowing users to leverage AI technologies to create a faster way to deliver content creation or custom experiences without losing the ability to either control the style and sort of have guardrails about consistent quality of experience and monetization opportunities. So it's a tricky balance that we'll go through.
It's a lot of things to work on.
Yeah.
Well, our time is almost up, so final question. Your keynote session is tomorrow morning. What do you hope that AWE attendees kind of get the most or take away from your session and also from AWE Asia overall?
So we hope that the different services, as I told you, over the world, all people just communicate in the virtual space is kind of the new experience about that. So we want that. But actually, we need more. We also want to make our different services not by ourselves. We want to make it all together with our partner, because we need more understanding about the people, our new customer. I mean, there's some potential customer. They can communicate in the virtual space, and also we can make our service together by just the partnership. So I think that during the AWE Asia, so many people just they recognize our service and our vision, and if we can have some opportunity, we just want to discuss about some kind of the new kind of the partnership with our people.
I think I want people to understand that telcos have an important role to play in delivering good metaverse experiences, and that we're trying to do it mindfully with a user-first point of view. Yeah, of course we want to make a living, we want to build business on it, but we're really focusing on the journey that we're going through together to build the best possible customer experience. And one of the things that we're going to share is what we're trying out, what we're hypothesizing will work, and what we want to learn about, because we're on a very serious learning journey. We don't know all the answers. Those of us who have been doing XR for a decade, 20, 30 years, doesn't matter. It's constantly learning. User tastes change, cultural moods shift, pop culture impact, it has an effect. And so all of these things come into play. The pandemic created this need for people to be physically separate but still want to be together. So we're learning a journey about how do we maintain the relevance of a metaverse platform in a post-pandemic world, right? So those are all things that we're going to explain, some of the hypotheses that we have and what we're trying to learn.
Well, now I'm even more excited for your keynote tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time. This has been a great conversation. And this has been AR Highlights with AWE Asia 2023. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.